I've really enjoyed it. It came together very easily. The response from the 4 schools we invited was really overwhelming.
It's a massive wad of entries, which I'm very glad that we got, but boy, did we have to read them a lot of times to work out which were the best ones. They were such high quality.
And it was such an uplifting, heartwarming experience to read what children ages 9, 10, 11 would write when they let their imaginations go. They had a little prompting on the topic, the Olympic spirit, and a sub-theme that we gave within our club of inspiration.
I quite like literacy, and I like to be in competitions quite a bit.
It's given me the confidence to go on and write more stories, and it's inspired me to read books.
Four Marks School in particular had almost 100% participation from their Key Stage 2 classes, and the other schools, Chawton and St. Mary's Bentworth, had entire classes doing poems or essays, and Medstead as well gave us a number of participants.
It linked with what we've been doing at school because we've been learning about the Olympic values.
The best part was reading them anonymously, which was part of the way we ran the competition. We had no names. We didn't know what school, the gender of the author or poet. We didn't know if they were writing about a fictitious character necessarily, or someone they dreamed of being, or someone they admired.
I've learned something about how stories should be, what length they should be, how they should have a twist at the end.
I've learned that if Olympic athletes are cheered on by the audience, that it gives them more confidence, and it's given me more confidence to do my writing because everyone's been supporting me.
We were, as judges, deeply moved by the hope, the promise of these creative children, and it was a joy.
Dragging myself out of bed once again when day would start at 4 a.m. and a cold, dark, foggy morning in London. Driving to the swimming pool, my mind began to wander back to lazy, warm days of my childhood spent in Africa. Growing up in a mud hut with 10 people in your family was not easy.
Charlie made his way to the running track with a handheld stopwatch. He took a lane and beep, he was off. He ran along the track, sprinting towards the finish line, 40 seconds. Back at Lowestoft, he could manage 35. This was a problem. He was getting slower and about to do the Olympics. He tried again. He ran as fast as he could, using all the techniques he used back at home 40 seconds ago. He hated admitting he was afraid, especially in races.
I ran faster than I'd ever run before. I worried. Would all my practicing pay off? I could see myself leaping in the air with the glinting trophy in my hands. I travelled across the finish line. My heart gave a tremendous leap. A burst of excitement bubbled up inside me. Tears of happiness trickled down my face.
She looked at the diving board, slightly taller than her. She looked at all the people she was to dive against. She looked at the people watching her. In her mind, she was thinking what was going to happen. At last, the announcer spoke into the microphone with the first name to dive off the board. That name was Becky Trink. Becky stood up and walked nervously over to the steps leading to the board. She got to the top. She looked down, then jumped. Her hair was flying behind her and she did a somersault into a turn sideways. She aimed at the water with her hands and she splashed down into the water.
It's always difficult to find reasons for writing for the children. And competition does something to children and they want to do well.
Each school actually handled it in a different way. 2 of the schools had the children do their writing at school and combined it with some computer laptop work where they were able to compose at the keyboard or type up what they'd written. So we then got a typed version, but they were able to work on their computer skills and their creative writing. Other schools gave it as an extra credit option, and the 4th school gave it as a homework assignment, so the children did their writing at home and then turned it in at school.
Thank you for taking part. Please let us do it with your schools again next year. Watch this space.
Yes, I would recommend it because you have a feeling of pride at the end. You learn quite a bit.
It's always difficult to find reasons for writing for the children. And competition does something to children and they want to do well.
The children really grab hold of the notion of competition and it can motivate them and move them to do something that might not otherwise appeal.
They believe they can win, they put that extra effort in, and it gets results. So thank you for involving us in the competition. It's been very good. Thank you.